Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to have Bill Monroe Jr. here in 1 second. One last thing on those tuna balls. That's the reason why I had all those additives there, so that if you're just going to use tuna right out of the can, you can add any of the sulfites, any of the different scents, any of the oils, any of the gels, too, by the way, which is a very good one to add in there, to those tuna balls. So you can just do what you want. There's lots of options on how you can do those things. And you might come up with a combination that just outfishes everyone else. We've all seen it. I know Bill's seen it.
I've seen it.
I know that I've
seen it.
I know that I've seen it. I'm like, what the heck are you doing, man? No, I can't tell you. Well, I get it.
Why is that guy next to me out fishing me all of a sudden? Yep. Oh, he put on a tuna ball.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So, Bill, thanks for coming on. I'm always too short on time, but we're going to try to get to the meat of this, right? Columbia's closed. You're a professional. You're out there every day. You keep a finger on the pulse of this stuff. Number one question, like it is every year when I bring you on in the middle of April, is are we going to get back on the Columbia? What do you say?
This year is crazy hard. I don't think so.
Oh, really?
We already had a down forecast. You know, that 30% buffer is already in the matrix.
Yeah.
Then there's another non-concurrency buffer, and then there's another buffer on top of that for something else. We are a total of like 47% overall buffered into this thing. And I sent Ryan a couple of things. If we start looking at numbers, the 10-year average should have 2,000 fish a day. 2,000. We have 100.
Yeah.
We're a little behind. Yep.
I mean, from 100 to 2,000 could only take a day or two, but it's not trending that way, is it?
It's not. And we actually have seen this now. What are we at? We're at year probably 4 of this crazy week, 7 days, another 5 days, another, we're trending later and later. We will see some dam crossage, significant. It will happen. But will it be enough for another lower river fishery for like May, maybe? I don't, 70% says no. 30% says TAC comes in and does their mid-run update and says, oh, wow, all of a sudden some things change and we can all go back. So,
well, I don't know. I can honestly say I've never wanted you to be wrong, but I want you to be wrong right now.
I want to be wrong here. I want to be wrong. I worked really hard this year in the lower river, and it was tough. I mean, we only got 17 of these things that I felt super fortunate. I thought last year getting almost 20 of these things, I felt fortunate, but now it's even harder. And this is spring Chinook. There were some years, and we've got staff and a couple other ODFW workers that make really good sense. Kevin Gray, there were times when we weren't even allowed to fish the Columbia. So I'm on the fence here being like, okay, this is okay. I'm just glad to be out here. And whenever we hook up, it's just an even ultra more special event. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's just a beat down, isn't it? I mean, we've been beaten into submission to think that is something that is appropriate. Okay, everyone, here's your 10-year average that we were referring to. You can see the red is the current year, this year. 10-year average is the black line. Last year was the blue line. You can see that we're quite a ways away from where we might want to be right about now on the 14th of April, Bill.
Yeah, we're actually below even the 10-year.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at like a quarter of what the 10-year should be. And that right there is concerning, right? Because we got prime water conditions, You know, I even have clients calling and saying, hey, maybe we'll switch this trip up. And this is why I don't have today. I have today off, spending a day at home and prepping. I'm fixing two of my bilge pumps in my boat, taking things apart.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't want to take people out there and get one bite and then go 8 hours without another one.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's not fun, because just being out there in the first place is really important to me. But there comes a point where I've got to let's take a minute, and maybe we can go up above Wind River here in a couple of weeks and above Bonneville, and that's going to be my next goal. That'll be in a couple of days, and then we'll Willamette. Actually, you see my little bridge right there. There's a little hint for everybody.
Yeah.
I really like the area.
You know what's funny, Bill, is this past week I ran into a former employee of ODFW, a man that I respect highly. We've had our issues, and he knows who he is if he's watching. We've had our issues in the past. Very well established, very, very high-ranking individual, retired now. He had mentioned that, you know, he thought when he was going to retire that our fisheries on the Willamette and the Columbia were going to be something to retire for, right? That we'd have fisheries so good that we should, at least how I took this conversation, was that by now we should be pretty solid with good returns on the Willamette and the Columbia, and that's just simply not the case. Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel here in the next handful of years with so many different things that are impacting our salmon returns?
The only light I can really see right now is that the emphasis on hatchery fish has become more important than ever. And finally, some higher ups are starting to see this. We've gotten to the point where we're wanting to save orcas. We need commercial fishing. We need recreational fishing. It's being acknowledged. So therefore, hatcheries are important. They matter. And the more hatchery fish, the better, in my opinion. We are so far past a society where we think we can rewild and bring back the wild fish. That's really tough pill to swallow. We're not there anymore. We just aren't. And hatchery fish is the answer.
There's absolutely no question of that. And fortunately, what you had mentioned, we have heard this as well, that there is a tide changing when you're talking about hatcheries and what the folks that actually make the decisions are thinking. Let's just hope that it goes quickly and we can see those changes happen in a hurry. Bill, as always, man, it's too short a time.
It's good to see you again, dude.
Yeah, it's great to see you. Thanks for your insight, man. Somebody that knows a lot more about this and is much more emotionally stable with it than I am. Bill, it's great to see you, man. I love you. We'll see you soon, okay?
I love it.
All right, man, everyone, we're going to cut to a quick break, wrap things up, and give you an idea what we got going on for this upcoming weekend. Thanks, Bill.